You didn't wake up one morning and decide to tolerate disrespect. It crept in. First, a small joke at your expense. You let it slide. Then, a request that should have been a no. You said yes to keep the peace. Then, a boundary you once held firm. Now, a distant memory. This is slow burn manipulation. Not a dramatic attack you can see coming, but a quiet, patient erosion, like water dripping on stone. Each drop does nothing, but over time, the stone wears away. Machiavelli wrote, "A prince must imitate the fox and the lion, for the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves." The fox represents cunning, the lion strength. But slow burn manipulators are something else. They're water. They don't trap you or fight you. They simply wear you down. The tamed dog wakes up one day wondering how he became someone he doesn't recognize. The wolf studies the drip. He sees the pattern before the stone cracks. Today we break down slow burn manipulation, how it works, how to spot it, and how to stop the erosion before it's too late. Type erosion in the comments if you've ever looked back and wondered how you lost yourself. This content is for educational purposes to help you recognize and defend against psychological manipulation. We do not condone using these ideas to harm others. In this series, dog and wolf represent mindsets, never individuals. Number 1. The gradual ask. No one asks you to sell your soul in one conversation. They ask for a small piece, then another, then another. By the time you realize what's happened, there's nothing left to sell. This is the gradual ask. Each request, by itself, is reasonable. Can you stay late just this once? Can you lend me $20? Can you keep this secret? Individually, they're nothing. Cumulatively, they're a cage. Machiavelli observed, "Men are so simple that he who wishes to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived." The deception works because each step is too small to trigger your defenses. Watch for patterns, not incidents. One request means nothing. 5 requests in the same direction mean something. Keep a mental ledger, or better, a written one. When someone consistently asks for more than they give, the trend line tells the truth. The dog says, "It's not a big deal." The wolf says, "Let me see the pattern." Small yeses become big chains. The question isn't, "Can I do this once?" It's, "Where is this leading?" Number 2. The normalization loop. Whatever happens repeatedly becomes normal. If someone insults you once, you notice. If they insult you every day for a year, it becomes background noise. You stop hearing it. You stop defending against it. This is the normalization loop. Manipulators don't need to convince you something is right. They just need to make it familiar. Periodically audit your relationships. Ask yourself, what am I tolerating now that would have shocked me a year ago? If the answer is anything, you're in a normalization loop. The wolf conducts regular relationship audits, not with suspicion, with curiosity. He notices when his standards have quietly lowered. He doesn't wait for the stone to crack. He inspects the stone. I remember looking back at a friendship I'd had for 5 years. In the beginning, this friend was supportive, encouraging. Somewhere along the way, their comments turned cutting. Jokes at my expense. Little digs about my choices. I didn't notice because each one was small. But when I compared year 1 to year 5, I realized I'd let someone slowly poison me because I never stopped to check the temperature. The water never boils if you're too distracted to check the pot. Number 3. Isolation drift. Manipulators don't need to lock you in a room. They just need to slowly separate you from anyone who might wake you up. First, they subtly criticize your friends. They're not good for you. Then, they make it harder to see them. Why do you need to go out again? Then they create drama whenever you're with anyone else. Eventually, you're alone with them and alone with their voice. This is isolation drift. It happens so slowly, you don't notice the distance growing between you and everyone else. Map your support network. Who could you call at 3 a.m. with a real problem? Who would tell you the truth even if it hurt? If the number has shrunk over time, especially if one person is at the center of most of your life, pay attention. The wolf maintains connections outside his primary relationships, not as a backup, as a reality check. He knows that isolation is the precondition for control. The more alone they make you, the louder their voice becomes, and the quieter everyone else's. Number 4. The slippery norm. Some manipulators don't push boundaries, they slowly redefine them. What was once unacceptable becomes just how things are. What was once a deal breaker becomes something you're working through. The goalposts move so gradually, you don't notice you're playing a different game. This is the slippery norm. Not a sudden change, a slow, continuous shift in what you consider normal. Machiavelli warned, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." The slow burn manipulator commands by slowly lowering your expectations until you're grateful for scraps. Write down your boundaries, not in your head, on paper. Revisit them every few months. If you find yourself thinking, "Well, this isn't what I wanted, but it's not that bad," check the paper. Compare now to then. The gap is the manipulation. The dog negotiates with himself. The wolf consults his written code. You can't drift if you're anchored. Write your boundaries down. Anchor yourself. Number 5. The gratitude trap. Here's the most insidious layer. After they've slowly taken everything, they give something back, and you're supposed to be grateful. This is the gratitude trap. They create the wound, then offer a bandage. You're so relieved that you forget they caused the injury. When someone gives you something, ask, did they create the need first? Did they make you feel insecure, then offer reassurance? Did they create distance, then choose to return? Did they make you feel small, then give you a crumb of validation? The wolf doesn't just track what he receives, he tracks who created the scarcity in the first place. I was in a relationship where I constantly felt like I was begging for attention. When I finally pulled away, they suddenly showed up. Flowers, sweet words, promises. I was so relieved I ignored that they'd been the ones starving me in the first place. I was grateful for the meal they'd stolen and then returned. Gratitude is beautiful, unless it's for something that was yours to begin with. Number 6. The exit fog. By the time you realize you need to leave, you're exhausted. Your boundaries are gone. Your support network is distant. Your sense of normal is shattered. Leaving feels impossible. The fog is too thick. This is the exit fog, the final stage of slow burn manipulation. Not a locked door, but a paralyzed mind. If you're in the fog, don't try to see the whole path. Just take one step. One conversation with someone outside the situation. 1 hour alone with your thoughts in a journal. One small boundary reasserted. The fog clears in steps, not leaps. The wolf doesn't demand clarity before moving. He moves, and clarity follows. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to find the first step. Here's the uncomfortable question. Why didn't you notice? Why did you let it slide over and over? The dog avoids conflict. He says yes to keep the peace. He tolerates because tolerating is easier than fighting. Your shadow work. Look at the pattern of your life. Where have you traded your boundaries for temporary calm? Where have you chosen comfort over sovereignty? The wolf doesn't blame himself for being eroded. He learns the rock's weakness and reinforces it. I spent 3 years in a friendship that slowly drained me. At first, they were great. Then the little comments started. then the guilt trips, then the isolation. By the end, I was a shell of who I'd been. The worst part? When I finally left, they told everyone I'd changed. And they were right. I had. I changed into someone who finally said no. If that resonates, you're not alone. The erosion is real. But so is the rebuilding. Here's your 7-day challenge. Pick one relationship where you suspect slow erosion might be happening. For 7 days, keep a simple log. What did they ask? How did you feel after? At the end of the week, look at the pattern, not the incidents. If you see erosion, you know what to do. If this episode cracked something open, if you're ready to stop letting small things become big chains, hit subscribe. Not for more noise, because you're choosing to see the pattern. In the next video, we go deeper into how systems trap you with benefits you can't refuse. We're calling it weaponized dependency. How systems trap you with benefits you can't refuse. The dog doesn't notice the drip. The wolf studies the water. Type erosion in the comments if you're done being worn down.